Hello, hello, and welcome back. Today we're in Gatwick. Our destination is Cologne. Flying with easyJet 737-800 Zibo mod. Okay, let's get ourselves in the flight deck and enjoy the flight. Okay, we're in the flight deck. Let's start off by getting the battery up and running. And get our positioning with get our nav positioning. Takes about 3 minutes for our aircraft to get positioned, so let's get that up and running. Let's get some internal power. Let's get the APU up and running as well. Just out, so you can actually hear the atmosphere outside. You probably can actually hear the APU cranking up in the background there. Setting the battery on, ground power on, and get ourselves fasten seatbelts on. Trim air and our window heat goes on. Okay, let's go to our iPad. Get our fuel and passenger weight ratios plotted in. Just look at our dispatch that I received from SimBrief. That worked out my flight to Cologne, and we take the readings of the fuel weights and well, the passengers not so much, but it does have the passengers there. But I'm going to input the full flight today, and so we're plotting all the passengers in right now, and we give ourselves a full flight. And cargo 365 pounds, and yeah, okay, 526 pounds. Okay, cool. Okay, now for the fuel. Okay, the fuel in, then we need to get the fuel truck to load in the additional fuel for the flight. Okay, get the FMC, a little bit of work to be done with the FMC, but it's not too bad. I tend to get through it quite quickly now. So I guess the first thing is where we're at. We're at Gatwick. And get the iris positioning. In. And origin is Gatwick, and we need to, our destination is Cologne, EBBK, and our flight number is easy 531. Okay, and need to find out the runway that we'll be departing from. Again, we get our a dispatch list out, and gives us the information on what runway we're going to depart from. And we've got 08 right. Put that in there. Departure 08 right, our SIDS okay, cool. If our airways out from Gatwick, execute that, and now our arrivals to Cologne go back and look at the list from the dispatch. So it's runway 32 right. I'll give ourselves 15 kilometers out from approach. That's when I basically I go to manual around about 15 miles out. We'll check out for any discos. And we'll bridge those. There's two there. RX32 right, we bridge that, and runway 32 right, we bridge that as well, so that's all correct, and we execute that. Okay, let's go to our legs. So we've got the legs, it's all sorted out. Let's now check our route on the radar, and we just check out all the waypoints and see if they're all correct to guide us through to Cologne and to the runway 32 right. So going to give ourselves an altitude. And the wind. Sorry, speed and the altitude, sorry, not the wind. So that would be our top of descent of climb, 32,000. Okay, we can just check out our route. Okay, I'm just going to compare the input from the FMC to our route coordinates, waypoints, and just checking that everything's correct, and so we can show all the waypoints departing from Gatwick 08 right, and arriving at Cologne. That looks good. Set our bow. I never get bored with the Zibo mod. It's amazing. It's a freeware aircraft, and out of all the payware aircraft that I have, I always tend to go back to come back to this the Zibo. It really is a nice aircraft to fly and to study. I really have a lot of fun with this aircraft. I don't really want to go anywhere else, to be honest. It's it never gets old with me, and I'm still learning new things almost every time I fly this aircraft. It's get a lot of satisfaction when things go right, yeah, no, I really do enjoy it. Even going through these procedures that we're going through now, and setting up the FMC, I find it quite enjoyable, going through the procedures, and getting the atmosphere of and the feel of actually sort of going through this sim, and and taking off from Gatwick and going to Cologne. It's quite rewarding actually when everything all works well, and yeah, it's really cool. I like to get myself into Airbus, but I don't know when that's going to happen. I've got a few Airbus. I've got the A20, 320, and the 319. Had a little play with them, but after a while, I still come back here with the Zibo. Okay, so we've got the flaps 5. So we need to find out our centre of gravity, which will be there in the payload section here. 28.1. Let me put that in there into the GC. 28.1, which should give us a trim. Yeah, trim at 425 on the trim. Get our the trim set to 425. We'll bring that forward. You see a little arrow to the right there. You see it creeping up to the. That's our trim set. And to the right we've got our V speeds. So our rotate speed will be 147. And we put in our V speed is 147. There you go. Cool. Flight director's on. Captain first pilot. That's it. Cool. First officer to the right and captain to the left. The captain, yeah. So we had to get our altitude at 32,000. And our performance takeoff, runway 08 right, our wind, pop that in, and we need the takeoff weight. There you go, so takeoff weight there. This is 28.1. Yeah, now takeoff weight. There you go, takeoff weight is there. Plot that in. Cool. So that's our performance takeoff all set. Let's go down here, just checking everything's right. Trim air, that's already set. Pressure 200. I've done a fair bit of mix with this this actual flight. Actually, I've done a lot of different angles, different views, external and internal, in the hope that we'll try to make it more interesting than just having either a wing view or a cockpit view. I'm trying to mix things to make it a little bit more interesting, more enjoyable to watch. We'll be arriving into Cologne in the early part of the evening, so it'll be dark, lights on. Go through some safety procedure, fire test. I'm not using Linda today, well, not as much today anyway. The CoPilot, you can set the CoPilot to do pretty much everything for you, but today I've decided to do a fair bit, or a fair chunk of the pre-flight, so we can get this aircraft up and running, taxi, and get ourselves away from Gatwick to head towards Cologne. I'm tending to use CoPilot now, just basically using like checklist or small procedures,
call me through the menu when you're ready.
Which sort of just gives a little bit more of a feel that there is a CoPilot there. That's the realism. Just going down and checking everything again. Just down head-up lights, a little bit more brighter. So it will be coming into the latter part of the evening. As we go over to the English Channel, it will start getting darker. More so to the right hand side than the left hand side. There'll be a little bit more light towards the left hand side as the sun falls from the left hand side, which we should see some nice views actually. Some different colour in there on the clouds, so they're quite nice. Okay, I've got the SAM free. I've just come across this different way of different approach. You can actually call in the ground crew tug, you push back via SAM free, which I didn't realise before. So I'll have a little bit more closer looks with this and see what else is hidden away there that I don't know nothing about really. It's certainly a better gate system that they've created now. Don't have any problems with it at all now. A lot more user friendly.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay, we'll be very shortly on our way. Just a few things we need to do before we do that, and see everything all shut off. The GPU, disconnect that, chocks away. Disembark the passengers. Not disembark, embark the passengers.
So connected and bypass pin inserted.
And
Release
our
parking
ground
brake.
crew get the catering, we ask them to leave, and the baggage handling, and they can leave as well. And that just leaves us with the doors. All the service doors need to be locked, and all the entry doors need to be shut and locked. Welcome message.
Good morning, folks, from the flight deck. The chair of captain for the ride. It looks like
Ground
it should be pretty
services,
good.
doors,
So, planning on a
lock
smooth
all
ride.
the doors, shut the
Get
doors.
there as soon as we can, as safe as we can. We'll talk to you once we get airborne. Welcome aboard.
Yep, we're almost there. All we need to do now is, well, basically release the brakes, and the pushback will be pushing us out to be ready for taxi. Okay, it's well, most of all the procedures all done and dusted. Yeah, look, enjoy the flight. Okay, we've just left the gate. The tug is pushing us around and getting us sended up for taxi. Okay, we've got engine number 2 spoiling up, and get ourselves ready and just supply the fuel.
Back doors are now closed. Connected on mobile telephones are switched off. Mobile phones must remain switched off for the duration of the flight. Devices which do carry the flight safe mode should have this feature enabled now. However, can remind you all electronic devices must not be used for the period of takeoff and landing, whilst the seatbelt signs are eliminated throughout the cabin. Also at this time, we'd like to ask that you do remove any headsets. Thank you.
Okay, that's taxi complete. Fuel in engine 1, brakes on. The taxi will depart. I think we should get Linda to do some before taxi procedure.
Before taxi procedure. Before taxi procedure completed.
Thank you, Linda, for the before taxi procedure. It's flaps 5. Brakes off. And let's get ourselves taxi.
Flaps 5 set. Taxi lights on.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask for everyone's attention, even if you are a frequent flyer, I want to take you through the safety features of a Boeing 737. In your seat pocket is a safety card indicating the exit routes, oxygen masks and life jackets. It also shows a brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 6 emergency exits, 2 doors at the rear of the cabin, 2 window exits in the centre of the cabin and 2 doors at the front. Low-level lighting will guide you to an exit. Please take time to locate your nearest exit and don't forget that the nearest usable exit may be behind you. In the unlikely event of having chase and escape, slide leave all hand luggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted and released as shown. Whenever the seatbelt signs are eliminated, place it over your head. Pass these tips around your waist and tie them at a double bow like this. Your life jacket inside the aircraft. When you're outside the aircraft, inflate it by pulling this toggle. If the life jacket fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into this tube. There is also a light on the whistle for attracting attention. Remember not to inflate your life jacket until you're outside the aircraft. We also carry life cloths for babies and life jackets for infants. So please now ensure your seat back is upright, your tray table is filled, your armrests are down, and seatbelt is securely fastened. May I remind you that all electronic equipment must be switched on for takeoff and landing. Some devices may be used in airborne, but please check the flight magazine for more information. Thank you for listening and forgive the shoes and
I've just got an aircraft that's just arrived, just on the left hand side. I think it's a Malaysian Airways or Airlines. We're right, Airways. I'm not quite sure. Malaysian. There you go. I think we've got 2 other aircraft inbound. I think we've got the last one will be easyJet. We've got an easyJet, that's the last one. I'm not quite sure what this one is. I think this one is Norwegian, just coming down on approach. It's quite a busy airport today, actually. Yeah, there she comes. She's coming down on approach now. There's yes, Norwegian. And then after the Norwegian, before we take off, we need to wait for an easyJet, and that will be the last aircraft, which then allows us to enter 08 right.
Before takeoff procedure. Before takeoff procedure completed.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Okay, almost cleared for takeoff. We just need to wait for this easyJet. It's on final now, so once that's landed, and we'll get ourselves on the runway.
Dodge 66, contact Oslo 120.45.
80 knots. Throttle hold.
Level 240 on the
V1.
V1,
Rotate.
460 Tango.
Ja, ik weet niet wat ik zei, maar 60 Tango. 118480.
Flight 480, thank you, bye-bye.
Your speed to 25, Cologne.
Zurich 50, United 946.
Cologne 981, contact London on 135, decimal 425. 135,
Approaching transition.
Alpine 6926, direct to Golos.
Golos, 926 again. Identified you appeared back of 1 on Romeo, right, information uniform, Nina 70.
220 knots now, Baxo, direct for the Baxo, 1 uniform confirmed. 1 Romeo, sorry, correction.
Transition altitude.
Back to 1 Romeo, right, with the 740.
Center 130,
So we're calling an impact at 170.
Ocean 67 Charlie, contact Oslo 118 Oslo 475.
That's
Arrival, no ATC delays either. Working statewide up here. Have you enjoyed the flight and the service? Once again, welcome aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
Cabin crew seats for landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your easyJet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or easyJet app.